Grizzly 2, this is Grizzly Actual. You approved to level the building. Over.
Welcome to Soft Bad Monkey, a safe space for savages. This podcast is comedy. We don't discriminate. We don't care about your race, religion, sexual orientation, or gender identity. We make fun of everyone equally. We are veterans, offensive by nature, so if there's kids in the car, turn us off. Seriously, I'll wait. We've evolved. It's still JD and Uncle Steve, but now we have Paulie. As for Jay, he's fluffing on man porn. We talk like we are in the team room, platoon space, or whatever you call it. We're meat eaters and knuckle draggers, so put on your fucking helmet because we're coming in hot. Right now, you got me fucking lumpy chicken. How you got John? He's good?
Yeah.
Good. How about
water?
Yeah, get him. So you know what I see when you say these things? You know, I see that scene. I think it's in fucking John Wick. When the guy goes, you know, I know when he says to the guy, I know all the motherfuckers you're going to send after me. They like me better than they like you.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that because at the end of the day, if you're the real fucking hitter, if you're the real one that puts in work, the motherfuckers that
do the work,
dictate
they
and
don't
talk shit
come.
and all that, they're not coming for you.
No,
they don't
coming.
got it, bro.
Listen, I go by name. Like people say, I said when they call me a liar, I say their names first and last. I shot them. I'll say the location. I did it 100 times. I'll go through 15 names real quick.
Thank you, Harry.
Not for nothing.
Thanks, bro.
Live by the sword,
I'm
die by
good.
the sword.
Right.
I'm sure the motherfuckers, you know,
They knew it. They knew
you're
it going in.
reduced, for the lack of a better term. You know, that's what they agreed to.
Right.
They played by the fucking game, man. You know?
Dude, everybody knows the fucking rules, man.
Yeah.
Bro,
Those are the
I
fucking
hate
rules.
that shit. It's like when criminals complain about cops
Nah.
not living by the book.
Yeah,
like when
right.
they get
What are you
arrested
talking
and they
about?
plant some shit on them or
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
Like, bitch, this is a game of cat and mouse, my
Right,
brother. Are you
right.
fucking crazy?
Yeah.
You both, the motherfucker, the moment you woke up that morning and you agreed to put on that fucking duty belt with those handcuffs and all that shit, you knew what side you were on. It doesn't matter. You want to win. And the same thing as the motherfucker that wakes up and puts that fucking piece right in his abdomen and fucking go hits the street and starts collecting. He knew what the fuck he signed up for.
Right.
Both of you guys are one unit.
Yep.
Law enforcement and the criminal element. You guys give each other fucking existence and purpose.
It's called a symbiosis.
I love it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Sounds like
Like motherfucker, you knew what game we were playing when you suited up.
Dude,
Good.
it's so fucking funny. Nowadays, I see it. You know, I grew up, you know, 80s, 90s over here in the Bronx. And
Right.
listen, what is it? That what is personal? That is what is most personal is universal. We grew up the fucking same. That's why I love Steve.
Right.
He grew up a gangster.
Yeah.
You are a gangster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I grew up gangster.
He's an entrepreneur and a businessman.
No, now, yeah, we all fucking
Exactly.
Yeah, we all fucking
Now-
need to learn. You know
Dude,
what I'm saying? That's why
right.
we are where we are. You know, but that being said, you notice it's just the motherfuckers that talk the most shit, dude, are the ones that don't do nothing.
No, they never did nothing. I say it. I mean, this is why I don't get mad. And actually, if I get mad, like I called him a couple times, or I called Brian, or I called somebody that knows it. Because, you know, sometimes, you know,
It's a blackout rage.
Yeah.
But with a proficiency.
Yeah.
That's
And
you're
they know-
scared
they
of the
know,
proficiency.
They know I got that, you know,
Yeah.
PTSD. They know all this. So a lot of times when someone's fucking with me, I'll walk around my house for 2 days straight, I swear. I won't sleep. I won't nothing. Trying to talk myself down and doing something stupid. You know, and they know they play off that. You know, and they're playing into my ego.
Because, you know, that's a coward strategy
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They try to press your fucking buttons because
Yeah.
they know that you're a convicted individual.
Yeah.
When I mean convicted, I don't mean like jail. I mean like
Yeah.
you're
A man of
You're
conviction.
a man
Yeah,
of conviction.
yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And
Well, there's two kinds of people. There's people that fucking talk about it,
Yeah,
and there's people that fucking get it done.
yeah, I gotta tell you, man, it is fucking crazy. It is crazy the parallels that we share because, you know, the anger management, the management of that aggressive energy. It's one that really keeps you from going places because you kind of know, statistically speaking, someone's going to get out their fucking face,
Well,
and that's not going to be a good
Bro,
thing.
the way I see it, there fucking ain't no difference. No difference at all. Only reason I fucking did the dirt I did is because somebody said. That's it. I did it for money. Fucking totally did it for money. Don't ever think for a second I wasn't selling freedom. I'm protecting fucking fossil fuel interests. Somebody said you're a bad motherfucker and it's time for your shit to be done here.
Yeah. And my deal is with that, you know, in a way, the type of individuals we are, we kind of have a little bloodlust. We're born with it. Yeah. But here, just like there's individuals that were born liking the same sex. You know, it's in their soul.
Right.
They feel like it's in their soul. It came from something else.
Right, right.
Our fucking warrior spirit, our fucking killer mentality, the ability to do that and do it without hesitation, that I think you're born with that.
Yeah.
I think we're a different species of we're a different variant of the same species, just like ants. There's warrior ants, and they're significantly physically different than the regular ants, and then there's the queen ant, you know? So as in humanity, you have the sheep that just eat grass all fucking day, don't know about shit outside of them. They're, protected in their masses, but then you got the wolves that want to fucking eat them, and the sheepdogs that keep that shit from happening as best as they can.
There's also wolves that hunt and kill other wolves. Yeah. Let's not be totally fucking gay.
Yeah, no,
okay?
I got you. Hey, listen, I'm just saying.
I still love you, bro. It doesn't mean we can't disagree.
I'm just saying we've evolved to that. Our spirit is that. You understand what I'm saying? And as we start to go through these things like combat, streets, or whatever, you just start being better at it. And then when you get older, you don't want to fuck with it no more. You already repented. You know, you're trying to pay back your karmic debt.
But I know right away when I'm on the street, when I'm dealing with a guy, doesn't matter what neighborhood. You take me down a block somewhere, and you introduce me to guys you know, and you don't tell me about him. Just let me stay with him for an hour or two, and I'll tell you, is he real or not?
You can smell it on him.
You can smell it on him.
And then it's also consistency in body language,
like
word.
You can smell it like a fart in a car.
Yeah.
So you got all these guys in the streets. That people think the mob world, all these guys are about it. They're all fake. I'm telling you, 99% of them are full of shit. And that's the thing that the public really
that
don't
ego.
know.
They want the recognition. Their ego is still running shit, and their ego is the one that's barking very loudly.
Yeah.
You know, and then they get motherfuckers that are really about that shit. And like you said, what they did to 6ix9ine, you know, they play on you on what you want. You want that street cred. You want to walk around in the nightclubs with your fucking $100,000 chain on and not a problem, and pop bottles and all this shit. We your crew, we your muscle, we got you. And next thing you know, money exchanges, dope deals, all that shit, because he's playing in the streets now. Yeah. Until he realized, oh, this shit is real out here.
Yeah.
It's a dog-eat-dog world. And that's what I'm saying. That's when motherfucker you catch. They took advantage of you. Took advantage of what you are consistently. Yeah. It's out there. That's the street shit, man.
Yeah. Exactly. And hey, Harold, are we rolling? We've been rolling the whole time, right? Okay, good. I want to start this episode. What, you got a question?
No, he just wrote intro, basically.
Okay, yeah. I want to start. I want the conversation to be on this and throw. I know you'll do it the right way. The conversation, but we'll put the intro in, have the conversation first, and then jump to the intro and then back.
No, we could
back way. Because again, it is a fucking another episode of Soft Bad Monkey with your host, Jason Delgado.
Steve Rousted.
That's right. And it's just us for today, and we got our fucking special guest, John Alite. He goes by Johnny Alite. The correct pronunciation is John Alite, but Americans, we just fuck it up.
I don't know. A-Lite's fly too.
Dude, fucking A-Lite.
A-Lite is dope, but A-Lite is fly.
Dude, A-Lite is fucking cool as shit. Alite is the correct pronunciation because he's Albanian, but goes by A-Lite because Americans fuck it up. Because we're cool like that. We don't even speak fucking English. We don't speak the Queen's version of English. We speak the fucking American version of English. Yeah. Which, you know, because we won that war.
In our world.
Back-to-back fucking World War champions over here, bitch.
In our world, it's right.
Dude, shit's fixing to get live out there in the streets. Gotta be fucking vaccinated or you can't leave your house.
You see them tackle him in Australia?
Dude, fucking.
It's crazy.
Bro, it's
fucking army helicopters and shit telling them to stay in their house. It's like, I got news for you. There's one of my clients has a theory that he lives by, and his theory is an elephant gun at every position.
Yeah, sound alone,
dude.
We're not going that way,
dude. I'm telling you, the helicopters outside for you to stay.
That's gonna be hard to do
house.
here.
Yeah, 8 million people on this motherfucker. Come on.
But in this country, that's gonna be hard to do.
Right.
You send a fucking UH-1 or some shit over some of this heartland over here, you're gonna get fucking.
You ain't getting it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got some shit in these barns.
Yeah,
Bro, dude, we went, what was that called? That machine gun shoot?
Yeah,
These
Pennsylvania.
dudes have fucking miniguns.
Yeah, dushkas.
Really?
These are like
20 millimeter fucking machine guns, man.
Not
Fucking-
anti-personnel. This is anti-matter.
Wow.
This is like
Bro,
trucks, armor.
That shit sending fucking people back in time.
No, they got, this is like legit. They got
Yeah.
businesses and, you know.
That's what they do.
fucking-
Right.
People call them to rent these things and that's what they do. And it's also like a curation, museum curation thing. Oh my God, it's fucking nuts.
But
Like,
they got
dude,
it. I seen it.
This is legal? Like, fuck yeah, man. I drive around with this bitch in the back of my truck.
Yeah. So if that starts, middle America is going to be fun. So anyway, like we were talking about earlier, we were talking about how we viewed the business that John was in, and I'm just going to fucking say it out loud. You're a fucking hitman for several years, been participating in that level of violence, regardless of who's calling the shots. I don't see any difference in it as far as whoever the fuck you're working for. Because just because we were willing to visit violence on somebody else, it doesn't mean that the people that told us what to do were right.
No, and actually.
You know what I'm saying? And we were there to fucking collect.
And
Don't
actually,
tell me we weren't.
A few times we've discovered, you know, it's a fair share of the time they're kind of wrong, you know, and
Right.
there's nothing we could do. It's after the fact, you know. So you start to see that it don't matter how high up on the food chain you are, you're still human, and you still have your shortcomings and your flaws, and the people you send to do things, you know, they're thinking about that too. You know, I don't know, man. I think that's what I learned the most was that if there's a human in charge of it, there's definitely room for fucking some flawed thing to go wrong.
100%. Because we're just accustomed to believing in, first off, following orders. If you guys are, you know, military.
Yeah.
So you guys, your belief is to protect your brother. In my life,
It's the old matriarch. What is
is
it called?
the same brother that's supposed to be protecting each other. It's the same brother shooting you in the back of the head. So we're buying into something that's completely flawed. And, you know, so at least what you're buying into
Yeah.
is a closeness and a reality with each other.
Yeah, because you're right. Because you're forced to be right side by side with
Right,
each other.
right.
Yeah, 100%. Even your leadership.
Yeah.
They're not far behind, you know. But the similarities to you draw is like the rank structure. You know, you got rank structure in the streets, right?
100%.
You know, you got people you answer to. You're required to produce. You know, if you're a part of this, you got to be a part of this. You can't just walk around with the name and, you know, grabbing your dick and shit. It's
Right.
like it's an active membership, correct?
Yeah.
It's a fucking real thing. It's a real business. And if
Yeah.
you don't know, John was, and would it be correct for me to say you were number 2 to John Gotti Sr.? Is that accurate? As enforcer as number 2? What do you call that?
I would just say I was just one of his enforcers. That,
Yeah, but you
know,
were with him all the fucking time,
Yeah, I was
everywhere
with
he
him all
went.
the time.
And,
Plus, you want your number one hitter with you.
well, dude,
what
what
I
the
mean?
fuck? Are you fucking joking? It's
Yeah.
fucking real out there.
Call you every time I go into a nightclub. Johnny, what you doing?
Hey, bro, you busy?
Hey, you know what things that change, and this is in the new society. For the guys that don't understand it, they like the cameras. They might talk all that gangster stuff, but they know those cameras are protecting them. See, the guys that are real, they don't want those cameras. Because when they want to do something or they want to get busy, they know those cameras ain't going to mean nothing. Now it means something. Because now those cameras stop a lot of stuff. So guys can do that typing now and talking and telling you ain't nothing or whatever dumb shit they go by. But any of the real guys, like if you're flying over to wherever, Iraq, no one would give a shit about no cameras there because you're there to take care of business, whatever your business is at the time. Here, when we're taking care of business, those cameras stop it. And these guys know that. So if these guys were back in the 70s and 80s, they wouldn't talk like, the way they talk.
You're saying, generationally speaking, the weak are empowered by this new
100%.
technology and this constant filming, and because they could get away with that shit.
Yeah.
Well, what he's saying is the same thing that everybody who's fucking real saying. This internet and this fucking social media shit has made people way too used to fucking running their mouth and being hard without getting knocked the fuck out for it.
Well, there's no consequences.
Right.
Years ago, you open your mouth to the wrong guy, you know,
You wake up looking at the fucking at the
you ain't
clouds
waking
and wondering
up,
what
right,
happened.
right.
Yeah.
You ain't waking up.
Yeah.
Because in my day, when we came out of the house, we knew there was consequences. So we always respected each other, whether you liked the guy or not. You showed him that mutual respect because you knew he was capable of killing you.
Discipline. You exercise discipline.
Well, you were absolutely born into it, though. Grew up in Queens. You were born here, right? Mom and
I
dad
was
from
born
here?
My father was born there, but
Right.
came here at a young age.
Right. And then mom was born here. Mom's born in Albania.
Yeah, Albania.
Right.
And-
so they come over. They do all the fucking bullshit. Get their fucking paperwork. They have you. You're born in Queens.
Yeah.
But in the neighborhood you're born in, that neighborhood was in the business too, right? So.
Oh, it was all gangsters, yeah.
Right. So you were family is the right term. Even though you weren't blood, you were living with people that were running the organization.
It's all you knew. It was
Yeah.
your
Well,
life.
it's all my father. It's all my father. My father didn't do what I did, but he hung out with all gangsters. He grew up in Rivington and Delancey, right in the city, with Vito Genovese and Luciano and Blackie and Al Greco. These guys were all the old-time gangsters with big names like Albert Anastasia. And I grew up with the family that worked for Albert Anastasia, who became the boss, the Ruggiano family. So I grew up with them in Queens. Those were my guys. I grew up since I'm a baby around that family. The father was a major hitter, and I was just raised. It was just that was it.
It's your way of life. It's all you knew.
Yeah, that's all I knew.
So the dad he's passed now, right?
Yeah, the father died. Yeah.
Right, but he ran a bunch of crews, so he had a bunch of different businesses going on. So you grew up right in that family. So the first thing, what you were fucking running back and forth, delivering shit, or what? How did that
Yeah, I
work
was
out?
delivering shit. I mean, the father was known to be what they call Murder Incorporated.
Right.
Albert Anastasia. So I learned as a young kid, right, that you know you're a young kid hanging around with gangsters, but you never really see nothing happen until the first time.
Until
someone
you
tried to hurt
fucking
me.
see it, yeah.
And then they threw a guy off a roof.
They tried to fucking shoot you when you left the house,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. They
Yeah.
tried to fuck with me, and the guy went off a third-story building.
How old were you?
And then I knew, all right,
How old were you?
I was 15 maybe at the
He
time.
fucking shot at you in the fucking neighborhood,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he shot at
Yeah,
me.
fuck that motherfucker. They threw him off a fucking 3-story building. Good.
Yeah, yeah.
He's lucky that's all he got.
He got warned before he did it. He got warned after the first time he tried to shoot
I'm
me.
fucking with you.
Don't ever go near me again. I was like, I was half in, doing little things, nothing major.
Right.
A couple of my friends were already killing at that time.
Right.
And he got the warning. I went back to the boss's son, and I said, hey, the guy ain't listening. He came after me again. And he looked
What the
at-
second time look like?
Oh, the second time, you could see in his eyes that this is,
He was coming.
it
He was coming to get it done.
He didn't-
Yeah.
It wasn't even what he said. He just looked at me like unbelievable that this guy didn't listen to him.
Yeah.
And he says, all right, this is what I want you to do. And I was a kid. He says, I want you to hang out in this
Shit
bar.
blew his fucking mind. He didn't
Yeah.
listen to him.
Yeah.
Stay in the bar there. I want you to hang out there tonight. And, back then you could get in the bars.
Right.
And he goes, don't go nowhere. He says, stay there. I want everybody to see you. Because he wanted to make sure nobody could accuse me of doing it.
Right.
They threw him off the building. And then
Good. Fuck him.
They sent somebody to come see me. And they says, don't worry, you ain't got no more problems. And, and then I understood, exactly for the first time what I'm really getting into.
That's what that meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was kind of proud though, weren't you?
Oh, yeah, I was proud. After that, you walk around the neighborhood, and everybody knows.
Big dick.
Hey, man, he's with Ruggianos. And, ain't nobody, because they got a different look at you. I'm not even talking about the young guys. I'm talking about store owners or everybody, because that word spread real quick. You're with this major
They're all
gangster.
sheep. They're all sheep.
Everybody
no matter
is.
how old they are, they're
Yeah,
all sheep.
yeah, sheep.
And they just recognize you as a fucking wolf.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like, oh, there's a wolf coming by, no matter how old he is.
Yeah. I started seeing the difference as that time went on. The treatment of me.
Well, I like, and Joe Rogan says it the best. He goes, the dumb animals eat the grass, and the smart animals eat the dumb animals.
The
Joe
smarter
Rogan's
ones
got it.
they eat a little bit longer.
That's
They eat
right.
Fatter. Man, so would you say that incident right there kind of was the line in the sand that you were committed after that internally you were
Yeah,
like,
that
I'm
was
in
my
this, this
awakening
shit.
because I seen guys get killed before.
Yeah,
Kids were hanging out in the schoolyard. You seen guys get hurt. You
Right.
seen guys get killed.
But it was still a
just part of our
possibility
neighborhood.
you wouldn't be a part of the lifestyle yet. There was
Yeah,
still-
right.
you could have done anything.
This
at
was
that
the
point.
awakening. Yeah.
This
So-
was these are my dudes, man.
Yeah.
These guys did that for me. I
Yeah.
got to do that for them.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. That's crazy, man.
That's crazy. So, it just straight off the top of my head, you're Albanian. How was that any different in this organization? Like, did you really get any flack for that?
Oh, yeah. No matter what you're doing, I mean, with the Ruggiano family, no. But overall in the Mafia, yeah. Because you got guys that it's like sports. You watch a guy in sports who ain't a good ball player, but his father's the coach, and he becomes the starting guy, and he's batting third, and he's playing shortstop. And really he's supposed to be on the bench somewhere. And you start to watch this, and I'm looking at these guys that I know ain't capable, that are just faking their way through nepotism.
Exactly.
And so it's
That's
making
so
me
aggressive.
more aggressive.
Yeah.
It's making me try to prove myself more.
So you want to stand out above them.
Yeah, I want to say that. And I made sure I did.
Made you hungry.
Yeah, it made me hungry. Because I wanted to be what their fathers were.
Well, that
I
shit
didn't
was,
want to
like,
be an
never
Indian. I
ending,
wanted to be
too,
the
at
boss.
a certain point, because even the new motherfuckers, it's almost like if they don't know you personally, just based off of the fact that you're Albanian alone, they're gonna hate on you.
Yeah.
That's kind of you found that that shit's hard because it's
yeah.
a big organization, not just the individual like family, but like there on out, like you said, the industry.
But I learned one thing, though,
Uh,
that everybody respects one thing, violence.
that's right.
And when they know that you're violent, and here's the thing, they never could fake with me. And I started to understand it as I got older, especially when I started getting more into like my head and therapy. I started to understand that they knew I didn't respect my life. So when I didn't respect my life, I was willing to take yours and lose mine, but I was going to take yours first. So that made the difference for me. And, I started to, and I really didn't understand that myself. But that was my thinking mechanism.
It's the law of nature. You made yourself a hard target. So in other words, a predator is not going to go after prey that might clip it. And then it has to succumb to infection in the wilderness. You understand?
Right.
And die.
Right.
So it's going to go for the easiest fucking thing. The fact that they know who you are and what you're capable of doing, they will even think twice of initiating anything because they know your reaction is going to be straight towards them. And they might get nicked.
Well, you know what I used to get? You get a good dude in the neighborhood, say, guy next door, he owns a barbershop, and he'll know me. But he'll only know me his age. How are you? I talk regular with him.
Community
He
dude.
said, man, he seems like a nice guy. And then, somebody will do something disrespectful, and then he'll see me just go across the street and shoot the guy in the head 3 times. And then he'd be like, hey, man, I can't believe that's that same guy. And so I learned to turn it on and off, like you guys know, because when you go on your missions, you just turn it on, you turn it off when you need to. So
Time is of the essence. Once you commit to an action, hesitation will only do you harm.
yeah.
So we're on it.
We've actually talked about this at length. People were trying to understand threat, and I've explained to several people. I said, if you have a person who's capable and schooled at violence, once that person makes the decision to do you harm, you can't stop them. You got to fucking turn them off. You're not going to stop them. When that person is willing and capable and understands violence, and they decided that it's time to visit it on somebody else, there's nothing you can do. You can't defend against it. You got to put that person down.
It's because we react in a systematic sequence of events. We play it out in our head, but what we play it out with proficiency.
Yeah.
Because now we're taking all the factors in the situation, in the room, and all that, and saying, okay, I'm going here first, going there first, going there. And then when it's go time, none of them have expected that. So now they have to overcome their OODA loop. They're disorientated. They got to decide what they want to do. Then they got to initiate that. All the while, you're just swifting through the fucking process.
Otherwise, your plan's already in action. You've
nothing
already
they could
thought
do.
about all that shit. Because you know that something's going to be wrong.
Yeah.
Something's going to go wrong. Somebody's going to be there that shouldn't be there. Fine, we'll deal with that. Something's going to be on fire. Something's going to turn fucking sideways. We just deal with that on the fucking fly and
as
still
long
get
as
it
you're
done.
proactive and they're reactive, you got the upper hand. Like you said, you committed. You're like, bro, this is not going to go good. And it's not because a bully kind of thing, like, I'm going to kill this motherfucker because I can. It's, I'm going to kill this motherfucker because he's going to kill me if I don't.
Right.
You already came to that decision. And it's in and out.
Yeah.
It got to be because
My
it's
brother,
be you.
my brother asked me a question once, because my brother ain't a killer. he's tough with his hands. He used to fight all the time. Yeah. And he said, man, why are you letting this guy stay with you? He's a piece of shit. And I knew the guy was selling me out. And I looked at my brother and I said to him, you don't understand, man. I'm going to punch his clock when I want. So he stayed with me every day. And then 6 years later, we killed him. He goes, I can't believe you waited, because I says, every day the guy's staying with us. He's going, and he said, why is that? I says, because I got my own agenda with him. Whatever guy. Make
Life's
money
about
with
agendas.
him. Make money with him. Use him a little bit. Put him out there. Test him. Get him to kill somebody else. But I know I'm going to punch his clock. Yeah. So when guys ask me, when I'm talking about murder and guys don't understand, like there's one family guys talk about, this Got Her Up family that I speak about. We killed her. I sent the order to kill this guy. Now, when people ask me, do you feel bad about some of these murders? I says, yeah, some of them I do. But on this occasion, when they asked me what was the reason was there was 4 brother-in-laws, right? And one's Gebbit. I'll say it by name so people can't say you're full of shit, because I get that a lot from the trolls. Gebbit was a convicted rapist. They gang raped a girl. One was his brother-in-law, Georgie Grasso. One was Ricky Stratton, whose brother actually helped me change my life, and who was away also had a murder at a young age. And the other one's Bruce Got Her Up. When these 4 guys try to kill me on different times, occasions, they're all brother-in-laws, direct and indirect. One's a brother-in-law to the other. At the end of the day, when I had problems with these 4 guys, all 4 guys are dead now. So when someone says I'm full of shit, or these trolls,
go ask them, motherfucker.
Those 4 guys.
Go ask them.
Yeah. Now, some of them I'm the shooter. Actually, on 2 of them, I'm the shooter. Where
right.
I kill both guys. And 2 of them, I'm not the shooter. I send a team. But they were going to go whether, there was no option. Once they talked about trying to kill me, once they raped the girl, once Gotti gave me an order, nothing's turning that clock back. So when people say to me, like, how do you accept all these guys talking like this? Because you know as well as I do, just what we said, they're sheep talking shit. I could take them anytime I want if I want to reverse my life. But I put my life in forward. I'm not taking it back that way.
Those are empty threats.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the heart or the resources to execute them. Plus, if they really wanted to, they wouldn't be saying these fucking things.
Well, years ago, I think it was about 6 years ago, they caught me drunk. I was in an industrial park, and a killer, a friend of mine, says to me, did the guy really jap you? And I smiled, and I said, listen, man, I've been stabbed up, battered. I mean, the guy took a sucker punch at me, came with 10 guys. But these guys, we know what they are, because if they wanted to be killers, don't come in there sucker punch me. Let me walk out the door and kill me.
It would have been done.
Man it up. Be what you're trying to be. Mm-hmm. Don't try to get a name off for punching me from behind, or another guy punching me from behind, and then some troll talking like, hey, man, they punked it. No, they ain't punking me. The problem is, once you did that, now you could think about, am I still going to be that old guy or the new guy?
You're stupid. You put yourself on the radar for no reason.
Right.
Like, that's like what they say. When you pull out, you better fucking use it.
Right.
Basically, he went in. He went in, fucking skyline themselves. Hey, Jay, I don't like you. Whenever you get a chance.
You know what's even funny?
I'm never going to kill you, but whenever you feel free, you couldn't come here, because I'm going to keep coming.
How about the text messages? I'm getting after that.
Right.
Is this over? I'm looking at myself.
It just started.
Yeah, I said, man, first off, once you took that step, it don't matter even if I told you it's over. You may be the guy I waited 6 years for, or 9 years to punch that clock. I don't have to be the guy doing it. I have guys like I did always that I could say, hey, do me a favor, but that's not where my life's at. But they never know if my life will ever turn around again.
Right. In other words, you're no one, bro.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to fucking extinguish my flame, you're no one in our life.
Right.
We don't fuck around with society's fucking taboos like that. We really don't. We don't give a shit about that. Yeah. Thank God I woke up this fucking morning. Let me see if I can stay awake. Let me see if I can fucking stay alive throughout this day. So little simple things make us happy. We're past that. In the race shit is what I'm talking about. Motherfuckers want that name, that ego, that money, that whatever it is. They're in the race. So they're out there doing unnecessary shit, fucking committing liabilities that'll come back and fucking smack them in the face. They don't even know what they're fucking running from. All they got to do is sit down and just look at motherfuckers like you guys and see where you are and say, bro, that's the future. And look how fucking calm their demeanor is. Motherfucker just want to go on the beach with his lady and fucking and enjoy those fucking tits.
Tomorrow.
You know, like, bro.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Yeah,
Fucking taking vacation
It's
tomorrow.
kids. And then just as we were at that age, just too ignorant and naive to see that, to project to the future. That's why I say young men for war, old men for counsel. You know? Because that's just you're young, dumb, full of cum, testosterone, and ego. That's destructive forces right there.
I was raised by some real killers, serious killers, right? So they taught me some good stuff. You know, to keep my mouth shut. You know, when that guy's talking all that talk, you know he's full of shit. He wouldn't be talking that talk. That guy that wants to kill me, and you guys know, there's a lot of guys out there that probably want to kill me from all the shit I did. But they ain't talking about it. Those are going to be the guys that I ain't going to hear nothing coming if that day comes. It ain't going to be these guys talking like this. Because these are guys that ain't about nothing.
But those are also the guys that are not emotional.
Yeah.
So they're not going to come after
Right.
you.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to also do the fucking math. Because not for nothing, you out of the business, bro.
Yeah.
And that whole mantra, whatever, that shit you guys swear no to when you fucking, all that bullshit, we said it, we spoke about it, and when we started, it doesn't mean anything nowadays.
Nah.
Every man for the fucking selves. We are in some savage fucking times, my brother.
Yeah.
Some savage fucking times. Motherfuckers could justify anything.
Right.
Even the stupidest of fucking indiscretions.
Right.
To where back in the day you would exercise discipline. Like you said, you wouldn't talk shit to that guy on the block.
Right.
Because you know you got to see him in the bodega the next day. Nowadays, they'll talk shit to that fucking guy on the block.
Yeah.
Till that guy fucking rocks their head off. You know, it's a different fucking time, man.
Yeah.
It's a different time. So those guys that are really about it, they're going to do the fucking math in their head, and they're going to say, no offense, Johnny, what the fuck am I going to waste money, time, hide out, fucking take a bus ticket over there to fucking put the bullet in your foot? What?
But I'm gonna regress a little bit here. Not by. There are several news organizations, journalists that refer to John as a one-time murder machine.
That's hot.
So my point, and
t-shirt, dude.
not and I don't mean that in a fucking negative way or whatever the fuck. My point is, if anybody's gonna give him a fucking hard time now, they realize you might not be coming back from this shit. You hear me knocking? You're gonna fucking call down the thunder. You might get your card pulled. With an amateur, you'll see it.
Yeah.
With a fucking professional, you'll hear it. And then that's it. There's a big difference.
You know I have those struggling days.
Everybody does.
So
I
when
got
have
you.
those struggling day and I call you.
Yeah.
Call him too.
And I said this. I ran into a guy. I ran into him at a restaurant. He was talking. He was with another guy. I went over to his table. I leaned my hands on the table. And I said, man, you've been doing a lot of talking about me. And you could see his face because he thought maybe I was going to do something. Thinking if it was the old days, you know, he's not a kid. He's like my age. And I said, man, I don't know why you're not getting this. My fight ain't with you. It ain't with this guy. It ain't with nobody. It's with myself. When I lose that fight, you're going to lose your life. I says, you got to stop leaving. Stop trying to push me because I don't want that life no more. But if you're looking for that, you better get it right in your own head. This fight is with my internal self, man. I'm the one who has the issue.
You're a bump in the road.
And exactly. He's a bump in the road that if I have that bad day that I used to have years ago, he's just going to be just one more guy that I killed that they'll say I didn't kill. You know, and
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Can we talk about mitigation? What are the things you do when you feel this?
One,
Aside from
Meditation. Fucking
I want
right.
to talk about drugs and liquor, man. God damn it.
it used to be, you want to let you, like what you're saying, no? It used to be liquor a little bit, right? Try to calm yourself. Used to be smoking. My sons would tell me, why don't you try smoking to relax? And I was like, all right. Then it went to trying to meditate a little bit more, you know. And then it went to reading the Bible. And then it went to therapy. And then it went to a lot of emotions. You know, I'd be in my house crying, frustrated. And I ain't ashamed. Like, you know, I'm not one of those guys ashamed to say that. Like, I'd be walking around, you know, tears coming down my eyes, trying to stop myself from being who I used to be while people are testing me. And then I went, and here's my biggest jump in the last 5 years, I'd say. Or a little more was, I got
How
rid of
old
my
are you right now?
ego,
I'm sorry, how old are you?
58.
And it just last 5 years, you said
I
you had
really
the biggest
conquered
jump
myself.
in your consciousness.
You know how I conquered myself is I got rid of my ego and I said, every time I work with that next kid, or that guy that's in prison who's dependent on me, I fail them all if I fuck up. So I'm not going to fuck up because I don't want to fail those kids. Because I want them to have a chance at life, don't end up all that suffering I did. Because I did a lot of suffering. So when people are talking about just the violence you guys know is easy. It's easy to get stabbed up, and if you live,
Yeah, but we don't gotta
heal
live
up.
with it
But
after.
emotionally is
But we don't gotta live with the consequences
Right.
after individually. You know what I'm saying? Because we out of that fucking country.
Right.
You know, we're dealing with the mental and all, yeah, whatever. But y'all gotta deal with repercussions with other folks. That's
Yeah.
crazy. So your war's never ending.
Yeah.
That's you know, for the lack of a better term, that's gangster as fuck.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. So right now, you know, we talked about that karmic debt.
Right.
So right now, you're creating karmic equity by helping people now. Are you receiving the gratification of that?
And how many wild ass guess, what number of inner city kids have you fucking talked to about not going into that life and how to
man.
avoid that shit?
You know, my brother was on a show yesterday, and
Yeah.
people are questioning, does he really help people? So I don't know if they follow me or just want to hate on me, because if they follow me, I've been to Brownsville a couple of times, and I do talks for the inner city kids, but I don't do talks for a half hour. I stay there 8 hours. And I hooked up with the guy Dan and Mike who had on my show that works with all the inner city kids. Then I went to another program called the Restart Program, and I talked to a couple hundred kids. Then I went to Hackensack with an ex-FBI agent that was the head of the Gambino squad that used to try to give me a life sentence. He introduced me to these kids. They were first-time offenders. Then I went to Newark High School and spoke to 400 kids. Then I went to a juvenile center in Nassau County. Then I went for Cancer for Kids at Sloan Kettering, and I'd spend my own money and go deliver presents. Then I fed the homeless. And then I kept doing things like this day and night. And then I started talking to college kids. Not because every college kid ain't on the right track like people think. So, you know, I was one of those kids that played baseball at college, and I became a killer. So there are a certain percentage of those kids. So when I'm doing all these things, and then I talk to the Second Chance program.
You're looking for that one.
Yeah, and I started, and I said, man, every time I do this, it empowers me to ignore these guys.
Of course.
And, you know, people say, man, a lot of good dudes, regular people, fighters, UFC, truck driver, whoever, that had their own struggling addictions, get in touch with me and say, man, I don't know how you're controlling yourself, because I can't control myself listening to these guys trolling on you. How are you doing it? And I says, you know what? I got a little bit of faith, a little bit of inner strength, and I got rid of my ego, and then a little bit of good friends that I call and I say, hey, man, I'm having a rough time today. Because you're going to have those days. I already know that, because I've been through all this. You guys know you go through it. And when that wrong guy bumps your shoulder, I don't mean physically, bumps your shoulder trying to get
Has
a
nothing to
reaction,
do with him, just everything at once.
everything else.
And that's very dangerous.
Yeah. And they're just waiting. Like, a lot of times I'm always saying to myself, with Gotti, because he's the father, the king of the mob that people know, son. And I'm just, I really don't understand the naivety of that guy. Because hate me or not, stop poking at me. You know, because you know what the capability is, and you know I ain't on that path.
But also, we're talking about consistencies and accuracy. You just said you spend 8 hours, fucking 10 hours. You spend your own money to do what is it that you want to do, what you love, which is giving back and helping and trying to, you know, shepherd out of this, whatever it is. You want that karmic equity. You want to repent, bro.
Once they keep kids out of that life.
He's also repenting, but for what he had no idea that he was born into. He didn't know what right and wrong was, because every motherfucking one of his influences was telling him this is the way. You understand? So, but yeah, now he learned later in life, and now he's actually doing more than what most motherfuckers do, is what I'm saying. So if anyone was really, you know, talking about that they want to repent or they want to do some good in it, they wouldn't stay there 8 hours. They wouldn't, because they would do everything like they do everything else, half-ass.
Yeah.
The motherfuckers would be half-ass killers. That's why you're still fucking sitting in that chair. You know what I'm saying? So when I say that to say this about Gotti. Everybody knows that motherfucker was the thread that led to everything falling down. Led to all of you motherfuckers talking on each other and all, because he was told on numerous occasions, don't be that motherfucking flashy voice, or what do you want? What is that ego? His ego destroyed your family pretty much.
The best part about that whole thing, and what John's talking about, is the former most powerful fucking crime family that there was is resorting to just fucking nonsense on social media. Like, the only energy they have left, the only fame that they have left, the only real business that they have left is fucking John out here being John. Yes, Sammy was fucking pissed off because Gotti Sr. wouldn't let them hook up because Sammy would have swooped him to join his fucking crew. True story. And I heard him fucking say it on a fucking interview.
Man.
See, I had and again, I'm pretty open when I talk. I had growing up, there was a priest that molested us. Me, a couple guys, whatever. I got a settlement from the priest molesting me.
Did you kill that fucker?
Actually, my two friends who ain't killers, regular guys, went to fuck him up and baseball bat him. And they were supposed to tell me when we got older. And they didn't want to take me because they didn't want me to kill him. So they did fuck him up, though. And
cripple him? Did they cripple him at least?
Nah, they didn't cripple. But he died of bone cancer, actually.
Good.
He suffered.
Hope it was painful.
And the most important thing of this thing is, you know how many kids, girls, guys get raped, get abused, get sexually abused?
Two fucking
And
men.
Gotti's son actually went on and made a public statement that I'm full of shit, right? That this never happened. Not knowing that I got a settlement from they get, and I don't talk against the church. I'm not one of those guys. I talk against that man, that priest that molested us. But I talk about the other priests that helped me.
It's illogical.
So, you know,
it's illogical. He's a fucking killer. Someone that you know has got fucking balls for days, admitting something so fucking embarrassing and painful, socially embarrassing, because at the end of the day, you were a victim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You no longer were a victim. And it's funny because we've had those moments as children. I feel that kind of, God knows, we don't know if it's nature or versus nurture yet. You know what I'm saying? But there's been those moments that we were children and we seen something or experienced something that we lost our innocence in that fucking moment. And we realized this is a dog-eat-dog world. I better get to this shit. You understand what I'm saying?
A lot of things woke me up the way I grew up because look at what you're going through. So, and I don't play that victim. Like I tell kids all the time, hey man, we all get bad shakes. I had a bad shake in life, but ain't no excuse for my life. So I don't want them to have an excuse for their life. But when you have negative guys like Gotti that's saying those dumb things, is just going to shut down that next young kid that has a problem that doesn't want to speak about it because you're trying to intimidate him for the situation. Yeah. So it ain't about me and him. He's just not getting it. This is about the kids.
Consistency. What'd he say? When he gets into it with someone, bro, it's not about you. I'm going to go through you.
Yeah.
You don't understand. This is everything I got inside me. Just like what you said in that altercation. Bitch, I don't even fuck with you. Yeah. But the fact that potentially you're keeping someone from being open about this shit, you took it super personal.
Getting the help they need too.
That's where your fight is now. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you don't like that at all. You're a very consistent man, dude.
Thank you.
Another thing, Sammy the Bull said, he talks about Gotti Jr. He says, there's no way this kid should have been in the life.
Well, you know what the problem is? Listen, I feel bad for him in a lot of ways because he never got an identity. His father was built up to what he was, whether you like him or not. He just doesn't know how to fill his shoes. And I'll give you an example, and I've been saying this a lot on the last couple of shows. I didn't put Gotti Sr. in prison. Sammy Govano did. Whether you agree with it or not, everybody has an opinion. If you want to be your father, why didn't you take care of your business and go do what you had to do to Sammy? You didn't. When your father was in another joint and Johnson beat him bad. Ain't nothing about Gotti getting beat in jail. No disrespect to him. He was an old man. This is a young guy, jacked up guy. Beat him up, but he really beat him up bad. He came home to Philadelphia. Gotti, the son, did nothing.
Oh,
after
he beat his dad up.
That's whack, bro.
Bad. And bad.
Oh, that's not good for a leader.
And then Sammy did what he did, and he died on his own spit. Now you got him coming after me day and night. He's doing 2 movies about me, Netflix and a program, and I won't even say the name of the program, another, because I'm not going to give him no push on his program. But it's only to knock me. So you're so worried about me, but you ain't worried about the men that took your father's life or hurt your father.
Exactly.
So it's only about his ego. It really ain't about his father.
Hypocrite.
Inconsistency.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
And no leader, no real leader. And you know, this is something you're born with. Once again, we're talking about that. Not everybody's born to be a fucking leader. Every real leader would have known that's a line that it was crossed.
But you guys know you come from trenches, serious trenches.
That's where his shit fell apart, really.
Came with the spoon in his mouth.
Everybody snitching on him because they realize he ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah. He grew up with that spoon, with that brand new car, those brand new sneakers that we didn't have. We didn't grow up like that. I grew up with nothing. I had to tape my sneakers together. I had to live with no wallpaper on our walls. I know what it is to be from our neighborhoods. He didn't grow up that way, so he just don't see what we can see. And he tried so hard to just be yourself, dude. You know, well, you don't got to be your father. And I'll shake your hand. I always say the same thing. But if you ain't going to be consistent, because that's good what you're saying, that's really, I never really thought about it. Now I'm going to remember that. Because if you're not consistent, this is only about your ego. You don't care about that young kid. You don't care about that kid that been molested. You ain't worried about nobody that got raped.
If you're not consistent, you're a manipulator.
Yeah,
if you're a manipulator, you don't belong in my circle. That's it.
100%. Listen, I'm the first guy to call myself a piece of shit over the years. Over a lot of, I don't want to live the life I did. Unfortunately, I did. But I'm teaching kids don't live that life. Man, it ain't a cool life. It ain't nothing good about it.
But if you never did, even if you helped that one fucking kid, all that shit you went through, all that shit that brought you to that one instant, fucking worth it.
Well, that's why I think about him. Like I talk to Brian about you. I says, listen, it's a short period that we know each other. Every time he helps me and I don't fuck up, I'm helping another 100 kids. So it ain't just about helping me. He's helping me help hundreds of kids. So when I did that talk with Forbes magazine did on me, and somebody said, we help kids. It's right in Forbes. It's on video and audio on Forbes. All you got to do is plug my name in. There's 100 troubled kids at that. It should have been 300 because of COVID. They had I think about 100, maybe less, whatever. So people won't say exaggerated number. It doesn't matter, but if it was one. But every time him or Dave Gentile or you or somebody helps me to stay strong and stay on my path about helping kids, we're helping a couple 100 kids who hopefully are helping other kids.
Trickle down.
And it keeps trickling. But my negative life, I didn't get nothing out of that but murder. You know, or shooting guys left and right. And then people saying you didn't shoot them. It ain't about me. You guys are trying to prove it to these guys. I mean, I could do that too. I've already told 100 stories by name like we just did earlier.
Because of consistency, we just, at the end of the day, what we surmise is that you're just you're real. No matter what situation you're put in, industry you're put in, you're going to fucking succeed. You're going to stand out. And you're gonna fucking put 100% in everything.
Well, you know what? When you lie, when you're not consistent like Gotti, I'll give you another example.
Yeah.
He said that I was a junkie, I was a drunk, I was a low life, I was a nobody, right? So say to people that buy into that. But then he puts paperwork out saying I cooperated against 250 mob guys. You just said I was nobody. So how the fuck can I cooperate against 250 major mob guys?
Yeah, they wouldn't have struck a deal with me if I was nobody.
couldn't get one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to talk about one.
So he was
I'm a
saying
nobody.
you were like the fucking
Yeah,
Doja, the junkie from the neighborhood, and you did
yeah.
little stupid things for them or whatever.
Yeah. So but when there's so much out there, and guys in strength have taught me I'm strong in a lot of ways, and I was always a leader, and I always had a ton of guys. I don't like answering to that nonsense, but sometimes I answer, and people go, why do you answer? I says, because I want those young kids to know I was the real guy, so they listen to me.
Whether they do
so
or not,
if they
it
think
don't
I'm
matter.
that flunky, they ain't going to buy into what I'm trying to sell them. And I'm not selling them the street. I'm selling them an opportunity at life.
A future.
And a future.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Which is possible. And, you know, you said one of the ways is through education. You know, the way I equate it to is like we're this fucking machine that was built by someone else to be what we are and as efficient as we are. But then we're left to our own fucking demise, and they took the instruction manual. You understand what I'm saying? And now we have to relearn ourselves. So we get into psychology, college, you know, fucking we're reading, and we're starting to draw parallels between the fucking universe and it's in and of itself. And we realize, oh, goddamn, I'm all right, all things considering, because you're at that point and you still got a fucking heart.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And not only that, when he's speaking to these inner city kids, they've sat there and fucking tolerated people reading books and telling them what their opinion is on shit.
Who's Gotti helping?
When you
He
sit
helping
down,
kids?
Nobody.
exactly.
Helping himself.
And I asked him 100 times, shake my hand and end the shit. Forget
Sorry,
it, man.
Steve.
I'm ready to let it go. Let it go. You ain't. What are we gonna? How long is this gonna last? 10 years?
Yeah, I got like fucking Tourette's. It's just like I like to point out the inconsistencies and the consistency. He consistently doesn't do shit for no one else.
Right.
You know, you over here, first off, I'm not gonna fucking call a man a junkie and a low life and all this shit after he admitted to being molested by a fucking priest in order to do the right thing. Like that man, nothing is. I'm gonna say these things. He's gonna look at me like, and motherfucker.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's just sprinkle on his fucking cake that he baked up. That's all it was. But real motherfuckers know that.
Yeah.
But they can recognize your experience. You know, they heard opinion a fucking million times. When you tell them your experience, that's what they're going to hear. The kids that are in there, they know what's real and what ain't because they've been dealing with fucking bullshit their whole life. Yeah. Somebody gets up there and tells them, hey, there's two paths, man. One might look like it's all that, but it's not. They'll hear the experience, and that's what they'll get.
When I was talking to these kids this last time,
Yeah.
I was in Camden County. I don't know if you know Camden County. I did a lot of time in Camden County. I did 3 bids there. I got a son that's in jail the last couple of years now. And when I'm talking to this room full of kids, I think it was 3 kids or 4 kids. I don't remember exact, maybe 2 kids. But I think it was 3 or 4. They got up, and they started to walk out. Like they didn't want to hear that bullshit, right? And one of the pastors that brought them started to get mad, and I stopped them. I said, and then they walked out, and I said to them, as they're leaving, I go, listen, man, I really hope for your sake that you turn around one day, because I was the same guy you are. I didn't want to hear it. I kept walking, and it cost me almost 20 years of my life in and out of prison, suffering, getting stabbed up, killing people. I says, and all I want to do is save your life. I don't get nothing by trying to help you. I ain't getting paid here. This is free. This is me just trying to save your life so you don't sit in a corner somewhere like I did crying your eyes out. You don't sit in that house thinking about that gun. You know, should you eat it? So, you know, when you're talking to these kids, you want them to understand this is real. This is not about me making money off you. I don't get paid for it.
You know what's dope? Even if you didn't turn them instantly, you planted that fucking seed so that when the nuances of that lifestyle starts to surface, all they hear is your fucking voice. Until one day it's going to be like, nah, I'm going to stop right here. Yeah. I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to church.
So you're fucking doing time in Brazil, right? You're fucking, why
you in Brazil? You working in Brazil? What's going on?
No, he was fucking on the run. He's fucking leaving the U.S.
You just
He's bouncing.
I went on the run because they were hitting us with RICO racketeering case, with murders, drug dealing, and the Gambino family.
And his predecessor.
They started ratting. Everybody started ratting everybody out, right?
RICO was
all kinds of guys ratting. Yeah.
So how'd they get you in fucking Brazil?
Different people were talking, ratting, and
Right.
somebody gave up where I was hiding.
Right.
And Interpol and the Army came and got me. They came with, I mean, you guys know all the weaponry better than me.
Right.
I'm just a layman on the street using guns.
Shit was heavy and black.
So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So they came.
It looked serious.
Yeah. you know what it is? You guys know, on the helicopter side of Copacabana is
Right.
to stop the robberies and people drowning. When they flip on the other side of the buildings, it's real dangerous. They don't do that unless they're coming to snipe. So, you know, because they're already gunned up down there on the thing. So they're sniping from that side. They had the fast armored cars coming with the military police. Yeah. And I didn't hear no more traffic. And they got no exhaust on those cars and the buses. So it's like 4 lanes. And my friend's on the phone. I'm waiting for him. And all of a sudden, you're just looking at it. It's quiet. And I'm looking at everybody looking down. And I said, oh, fuck.
Here it comes.
Yeah, and I looked and I seen military coming from this way. The fast armored cars. They got these fast armored cars that go to the favelas. And the military police hide behind them. So when they finally hit me, they told me, put your hands up. I speak Portuguese. And it's similar, you know, in a lot of ways to Spanish. And go on and get on your knees. They knew I understood it. And again, this is related to you guys because you know your reaction. Something happens and you react. My reaction was, fuck it, might as well just kill me. It wasn't me being a tough guy. So people say, man, why didn't you put his hands up? Oh, this guy thinks he's tough. And then and I said, man, you know, when they started talking to me, when they got me, I just said,
They try to talk you. They try to talk you down. They try to talk you down, and they're like,
it's
"Hey,
almost
man."
like you blanked out because you didn't even want to think about tomorrow.
Nah, he was hoping it was done.
Yeah, I was hoping they just.
Yeah, just make it go away.
Because I thought I was just gonna. That it was over there. I wasn't thinking. I wouldn't have went on the run.
Yeah.
If I wanted a rat.
Was it like cloudy and dreamy from the quarter? So like, did you feel like it's surreal?
Man, it was surreal because, you know, when someone says, well, how did it go? Was it, you really, I used to fight a little bit, right? So when you're really tuned in, or I guess when you guys are on a mission, you just
everything
really
slows down.
Slows down.
Yeah.
And it's just quiet, and I just was like, dude,
It's time.
dude,
the
looking,
cortisol, yeah.
scoping. I'm trying to look if there's an exit strategy. They're from here. They're on that side. They got machine guns pointed at me. They got Glocks pointed at me. They got helicopters. It was over.
And in your mind, because you're a consistent motherfucker, is kill or be killed.
Yeah.
There was no other fucking option for you. You was like, yes, this is my Valhalla.
I knew I was going to do what I did because before that I was on a train coming from Amsterdam to Paris. They jumped. There was an Interpol order to grab me. But it wasn't to arrest me yet. This was a couple of months earlier. My kid's mother was with me on a train. And I told her I thought we were being followed. So I said, let's get out of here. Man, we went to Amsterdam on the way back. They jumped me on a train, and they were Gestapo. And I thought that was only in the movies, the German movies. And he says, no, I'm Gestapo. But anyway, when they pulled the guns on me, I wouldn't put my hands up. And the dude had the gun to the back of my head, and he was sweating, like the lead Interpol guy, Gestapo guy.
He never did it before.
And he was shaking. No, he never did it 100% because he was shaking, and I looked at him, and I says, hey, man, can you take your finger off that trigger?
Yeah.
Because you guys know you're going to just hit me by accident.
You're just thinking of the math now.
Right.
Like you're just so past the emotion, and you've been there so many times.
Because you might miss and make you a fucking retard.
Even at his worst fucking moment, he's reading everyone
dude,
else.
you don't want to be
And he's
retarded.
Like, hey, bro.
But they jumped the order, so he had no arrest. They tried to go through my stuff, and they're talking to me in English. That was their first mistake. And I
Get
said,
out of here.
I didn't show you no passport. Why are you assuming I'm English, not French or German or any other thing?
Right.
And you're speaking to me in English.
It's like
so I
profiling
know why,
almost.
because he was trying to cover, they made a mistake. They made it like it was random.
Not lying, shit.
8 people, it was about 8 of them.
Eat a red light.
Random.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on a fucking train. How'd I eat a red light? Whatever. He didn't turn signal.
A random shakedown with 8 dudes, and he's got a pistol in his
And
ear.
my son's mother, she was crying, and he said, put your hands up. I told her, put your hands down. She was going like this. She didn't know what to do,
Right, of course.
And
Yeah.
anyway, she went home after that, obviously. And then I took off because I knew they jumped the thing. And then I tried to get low again and hide.
So you knew it was coming.
Yeah, I knew.
The motherfucker tipped his hand.
Yeah.
What an idiot.
So in Brazil, you're trying to fucking suicide by cop. What did the Brazilian cop say to you so you didn't fucking charge him? He said something to talk you down. What was it?
It was actually a woman.
Oh,
This is
no,
the
of course,
time
of course.
scooped you
What
up.
what'd she say?
You thought about doing something?
Well,
to
he's
the
gonna
cop and
fucking
get
run
it?
it, dude. He wants to get turned off. He's gonna
Yeah,
do
yeah,
suicide by cop.
Yeah.
Of course.
And the dude that
What
was
the fuck
with
would
me-
you do? It's time, man. Fuck it. Let's
Yeah.
go. You motherfuckers, you cleared leather. Let's get after it.
I got to tell you the truth.
taking a few people with me.
I'm shocked they didn't light me up. And the guy Leonardo was a guy. He was a regular guy. He didn't know. He was real friendly with me, but he didn't know what I was about. He had no idea. And he was screaming and crying. I don't blame him. He had guns all over. He didn't want
Scared
to
to
get killed.
death. You never
Scared
been
to death.
there before?
And they weren't
Dude,
sure.
and it's fucking Brazil. It ain't no joke.
They didn't shoot you because they still wanted their case.
They won their case.
That shit was
because
worth
I'm gonna
more
tell
than
you,
anything.
I thought they
It was
light me
more
up
than your
for
life.
sure. So when they get me in the back of one
Now,
of the
what'd she
trucks,
say to keep you from running at him?
Oh yeah, that's right.
She was just like, "Hey man, we could talk. It's not over.
Yeah.
Just relax. It ain't over." She was just. She was real soothing.
Yeah.
Trying to say
cool.
doesn't mean it's over. We can go from here. And I was thinking the whole time, maybe they'll never get me back to the United States. I could fight it. And this is what's going through my mind. I'm listening to her. And then finally they just grabbed me, tackled me, tied me up, cuffed my legs, cuffed my hands behind my back. They belly chain you. They black box you and all. You know what they do. And when they get me in the truck, I was in the back, and it was her and a guy, and she spoke good English. And, and I said to her, because they were speaking to me in Portuguese. They knew I speak Portuguese, but if they speak real fast or the accent, sometimes you don't catch it the same. She said, I'm going to speak to you in English. She goes, listen. She goes, we don't know what's going on in the United States. We just know there was an arrest for you for murder and different things. And if you're real cool with us, we'll be cool with you.
Like, we don't want no smoke.
They don't
dog.
want no.
We're
Yeah,
just doing what we told.
Yeah. They
Basically
were
is what
right,
she said.
and I was real good with them. Actually, the chief of Interpol, after he locked me up, he got locked up a year later. The country's crazy, a lot of corruption.
Yeah, I heard.
And he tried to get me to pay him. I had so many escape plans and crazy things. We were talking on phones about getting raped and blah, 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 because we're trying to get to a mental institute. So if we get to mental institute, there's only one or two
out.
guards we can get out. We either jump the guard or pay him. So we were trying to do that. I mean, it was 100 different things because you're in you're in basically a concentration camp. And, the survival of that jail is crazy. So she was like, just relax. And I seen the corruption, obviously, that I knew there was ways I could wiggle out maybe. Well, it never happened. United States ended up coming to get me with a Gulfstream 5.
Because it wasn't supposed to happen. Everything that played out and you sitting there was supposed to
I stayed there 2 years and 7 months.
Can I ask you a question? Personally, that moment where you thought to yourself, damn, I fuck with Gotti Sr. so much for his fucking son, that you just had to cross. How hard was that for you?
It was real hard because there's the jealousy. I don't know how many things I took to wait for his son. I'll give you a good story that I don't never tell anybody. I'll tell us, there was a guy they told me to go see. Now, we have a pecking order, just like the military. So, at the time, Gotti Jr. was a captain. Bobby Borrielli was a made guy who later on gets killed. They shoot him up in front of his house. And John Gotti Sr. was the boss. And we have a meeting in Konos. It's in Maspeth. And they send me to this guy, and the guy, they told me to shake the guy down. Now, it involves another guy, Joe Carrazzo, and it's his guys that actually had started the problem. And this guy, Philly Broadway, is a made guy also that was around John Gotti Sr., who helped John go on the run. So we're all in the basement. John sits here, I sit here, his son sits across, Bobby Borriello's here, Jojo Carrazzo's over here, Philly Broadway's on the side with his guy that I was shaking down. And John looks at me and he says to me, hey man, and I can say curse, whatever. And he says to me, hey man, what kind of piece of shit motherfucker are you to go fuck with my guy's guy? Now, I know as soon as he says that, I'm waiting for the son to say I sent him. But the son doesn't say that. So
you already knew what time it was.
He says, you went there one time and the guy didn't comply. So I went there a second time and I beat the guy up a little bit. I went there a third time and I wrecked his place a little bit. And then he ran to his guy, Philly Broadway. Now, Philly's supposed to go to John directly, Jr. He ain't supposed to go to the father. John Jr.'s a captain. He doesn't do it because he knows John Jr. is who really sent me. You understand? So now when John says, I'm waiting for him to say something, he won't answer. So Bobby Borriello takes the wait for me. He was a great guy. And Bobby says to John, I sent him. And Bobby's looking real mad at Jojo Carrazzo because Jojo is really his guys that started the incident. And he's one of John's other guys, made guy. And he's looking at, and Bobby's chewing, he used to chew gum a lot. And he's looking at Junior chewing his gum. And Bobby's an older guy, killer, involved in a lot of murders. And Junior ain't opening his mouth.
He knew right away.
So the father looks at me, he says to Bobby, get the fuck out of here. And he sends him gone. Now he looks at me. He says, you piece of shit, you ba ba ba, and he cracks me, right? And I got tears in my eyes out of frustration, right? I'm mad as a motherfucker. And he says, see my friend, and he tells me the story about Philly helping him and protecting him and hiding him when he was on the run. And all I'm thinking is, man, I want to fucking jump across the table at his son. So everybody leaves, sends everybody goodbye. I'm sitting there with him. Now it's me, him, and his son. And he looks at me. And he looks at his son. He says, get out of here. Tells his son, leave. And me and him are downstairs, right? Now, I'm a young guy that's shooting up everybody, first place. Killing people, shooting people, selling drugs. I'm a young guy. There ain't way I ain't doing all that without his permission, or he would have left me in pieces somewhere. He's the boss then. The whole New Yorkers, whole country's afraid of him.
This was like the first one that was like, what the fuck?
Right.
Because everything else was, you do as you told.
I always do what I told. And John knows the father's too smart of a guy, right? He knows the street. So when he sends his son out, he looks at me and he goes, you think I don't know? I had to do that. In other words, he had to hit me to save face for his friend, for the guy that's paying him. You understand? And he had to hit me because he knows it was son that really did it, but he can't let his friend accept that his son would do that to him.
Because he's going to ask him to do something
and the guy, Philly Broadway, again, this is the treachery to mob, is a gangster. He knows the son sent me. You know, he knows he sent them, but he's got to let Senior play it out.
The nuances.
And
it's a dance.
And this is the middle I was always playing. So I had to take the weight.
Oh,
So
man.
when he cracks me, we go upstairs, right? And, when you're sitting in those things, you don't know for sure how serious this situation. Are they going to clip me? I didn't think so because he looked at me and like almost like a son, even though the family tries to say something different. Okay, but when we go upstairs, I don't want to drink. I'm being a bitch. I'm mad, so I'm pouting. And he's like, "Have a drink." I said, "I don't want to drink." And now the son come back in again. He goes, "Didn't I tell you to fucking leave?" And he sends him home, and I stay with him. And then we have a couple shots, and he says to me, "Come on, you know better. In other words, you know why I had to do that. It's a show and whatever, and you had to take a slap." But nobody in my life, honestly, like Gotti, he'll tell stories. The kid in 1991, he slapped me and chased me. Anybody that knows me knows he ain't never gonna slap me unless we're gonna finish it there. So these are nonsense stories from a nonsense guy, and you guys, we all read through who's full of shit.
So you're the one who disclosed that he slapped you.
Yeah, but Gotti Jr. says later on that he slapped me and chased me. He changes the story. He says he slapped me.
But also, he's locked up doing time, not talking to anybody about nothing. And then all these other motherfuckers start ratting each other out. And he's like,
Yes,
you guys are getting out. He said, there's no way I'm doing
and this is what
doing life after life after life. Fuck you. I'll tell you what I know, too.
We brought up
This is after.
the relationship with 6ix9ine prior to when we started recording.
Listen, loyalty deserves loyalty. I tell everybody. First off, I'm Albanian. So when they say, "Oh, you're Italian," when it's convenient, I'm Albanian. I'm not Italian. When it's convenient, I'm the killer. When it's convenient, I'm not nothing. When it's convenient, I'm a junkie. When it's convenient, I could be the fall guy.
Pretty fucking thick for a junkie.
Well, once again, those people that could justify saying and doing anything just for their own little smoke agenda,
Right. But I'm going to tell you something.
like a bag of Skittles.
During these crazy conversations, and he'll tell people in 91, Gotti Sr. goes to jail in the end of 90. And he never comes home. And Gotti Jr. says, I was never around with him again. That he chased me, slapped me, blah, blah, blah. Nonsense stories. But he leaves out the part that I took one of his brother-in-laws, Richie Gotti Sr., John Gotti Sr.'s brother. His brother, I left him on the side of Bell Parkway for almost dead. They didn't do nothing in return. Nothing back at me.
What did he do?
Nothing. Just like he did.
He
He
fucking-
badmouthed me when I was in jail. As soon as I came home, he was shaking down a friend of mine. It's not really my friend. It was my cousin's friend. Owed him drug money, and he started threatening the mother. So from jail, I told my cousin, go tell the brother-in-law. Now, my cousin went out with Richie Gotti's daughter for 6 years. So there's a relationship. I says, tell the brother-in-law, don't ever threaten this guy's mother again. He tells me, while I'm in jail, he's a big guy, tells him, tell Johnny A. to go fuck himself.
Oh.
So I told my cousin, go tell him again, because he went a second time, that I said he doesn't want to see me when I come home. Second time I get the message, fuck you, I'm around the Gottis.
He's sticking to his guns.
So when I get home,
until he's out.
now I get home,
Until the gates open.
and the first thing I do, it's only a week
I'm
home.
gonna go see him. We got something to talk about.
I set him up,
Right?
and we leave him. And my cousin, he actually wouldn't be here because my cousin took the gun and ran. He wouldn't give it to me because he knew I was going to kill him. So we beat him bad on the floor, and my cousin
You
wouldn't
beat
give
him
me
with
the
a
gun.
bat or with your hands.
With a bat, with my feet, everything. Hands,
Yeah.
kicked him, stomped him, I did
Yeah.
everything to him. And he was screaming crazy because he thought I was going to kill him.
Like a woman?
Yeah.
Good.
He just didn't want to be there. He was
So-
like, wait
Do
until
you,
I leave.
how many times do you get hit with a bat before you realize, I shouldn't be here right now?
He's one of 5 or 6 guys that I ran through of Gotti's friends. I was shooting him, stabbing him. We killed the Johnny Gebbett guy, one of the brother-in-laws. And Gotti did nothing in return. The same thing he did to Sammy Gravano, nothing.
Was it because of Senior, you think? Or?
No, Senior's gone at this time.
Oh, it's
so
just
what I'm
after.
saying is Junior got no, he ain't
Yeah,
a gangster.
yeah, of
What
course
is he
not.
going to do? If he does that, he knows what we're going to do. So when he talks this nonsense, I can give example after example after example. Now, he'll never sit with you on the show and let you ask him questions. He can only do his own narrative.
Who don't come on this
Well,
show, Steve?
We only have real motherfuckers on the show,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Bro,
you know-
we've had guys dodge us. Don't know why.
it
Can't
don't matter.
understand it. 'Cause we real as fuck. We're cool. We're humble.
Right.
We celebrate our guests. We never fucking shit on them, We try to empathize here.
Right.
for you to fear coming out here, you're fearing something else.
Yeah.
What are you fearing? You're fearing that consistency, that realness sniffing you out. And you smell funny, dude.
No, that's it. Junior, big time.
Well,
I don't see him. Come on.
I killed a
What-
guy,
what?
Georgia Gross, one of the brother-in-laws. He got right after I killed him. They straightened out Gotti, right? He says that's bullshit. So I say this: if that's bullshit, okay, we'll buy into your shit. If that's bullshit, tell us why they would straighten you out in the mall besides being Gotti's son. What'd you do? What made you get straightened out? What you about?
Grew up
He
in
ain't
a big
about
ass
nothing.
house and shit.
Yeah,
Chilling.
he ain't about nothing but his son. That's it.
Probably
And
paid the cost.
and he can't live with that fact. That's the thing that bothers him. So to him, I'm the guy from Gladiator. He's the son. From the movie.
Yeah,
You know,
I like
and
that
he can't live with
analogy.
that.
I like that
You
analogy.
know, and I'm real. Like I'll say,
Because I
listen,
see him
got
in the
beat
white,
up.
shiny, cleaning
Yeah,
armor
yeah,
with the
yeah.
little bitch knife.
Yeah.
You know, I see it.
Yeah.
I see it. I like that, dude.
Yeah. So you know, I'll say,
Russell
I'll say the way it
Crowe,
is. Yeah.
I fuck with you, man. So when so once you got word that they were implicating you.
In every fucking thing they could think
Well,
of.
Like, how'd you get that word, yo? The fucking feds came and said, yo, they
No,
fucking
here's
sing it.
here's the thing. I said, let's do what I just told somebody else on another show. Let's say I'm a rat, right? I cooperated. Just let's assume it's true. I did everything wrong. They're right. It doesn't change the fact that he cooperated, that he ratted. He was the headlines of the Daily
boss.
News as
He's
the
a-
rat.
he's
He
the
was the
fucking
headlines of the New
boss.
York Post. He was a
How
rat.
do you rat it? You the
Yeah,
boss.
yeah.
It's your
didn't
shit,
it,
dude.
well, didn't it start like 18 months or something prior to them pulling you out? It started like 2 years before you
2
came
years.
out of Brazil.
Well, what I'm saying is it isn't me making these stories up.
course.
The New York papers called him a rat. The headlines.
But-
the New York Post called him a rat. Gangland Mob newspaper called him a rat.
And
They
then
put all his paperwork out.
And then the same media celebritized the
So
motherfucker.
then I told him, I'm not Bugs Bunny and a Roadrunner. I don't give a fuck who got there first because I'm not letting them have an argument point to get out of. In other words, let's say I am a rat. What does it got to do with you? What does it have to do with the Daily News calling you a rat? I didn't write that article.
You started.
You started it.
Fuck out of it. It's like with the whole 6ix9ine shit I
So-
was talking about. It baffles me why anyone would fucking question what he did. I mean, they fucked his baby mama. They fucking kidnapped his ass, beat
Yeah.
the shit out of him, robbed him. This is his fucking
Dude,
crew.
they raped him. They raped his
No, she was just a smutteroni and cheese. And she was just fucking.
Oh, she's just slinging it.
she
Hey,
was
people I
slinging it.
hate, right? Look at Pop Smoke, right? I don't know if you guys
Ah,
listen
man.
to that poor kid.
R.I.P. man,
right?
fucking poor kid
Yeah,
in his own house, and he's a real one. What he do? Show the
listen,
footage.
I like the kid too. I used to
They
listen.
put a gun in
I
his
put-
face, and he didn't fucking buckle.
When guys are hating guys,
He didn't
you
buckle.
can't stop
Steve.
them.
He said, "If you're gonna do it, do
Let's
it."
do it. Let's
And
get
I did
fucking
it.
busy. Yep.
Fuck
Hey,
it.
see, there's another story.
Real till they expire, bro.
When a guy's real, listen, Gotti's other brother-in-law came with 4 guys one time to hit me, right? Now you guys do work legally. These guys, well, that's a fine. So
Different regions, different rules.
Hey, but don't, dude. It's you, whoever's paying.
if you 4 or 5 guys come here loaded up, know I'm here, and you walk in that door, there ain't no talking. You light me up, right?
No, right.
Okay. So they came with 4 or 5 guys. I think it was 5 actually, and they come in talking. So I tell everybody, I ain't got a gun. They put guns to my head, and I said to them, well, shoot. You got me. You came here to shoot.
You brought 4
So, you know-
motherfuckers with you.
Yeah.
Got them riled up. We here. What's up?
Yeah, what's up? Exactly. So ain't nobody squeezing nothing. So now when they go through the story, somehow they switch that up.
Right.
And I'm like, how you switching the story up? If it was me walking in the door, you wouldn't be here to tell a story. You'd be done. You'd be gone. They came to talk. So you just like the guy that punched me that day with the 10 guys. Well, 1 guy from the side, 1 guy in the back. You didn't come there to kill me. You didn't come to light me up. You didn't want to let me walk out the door. You came on to put on a show, hoping it'll get you some credibility that you fuck with me.
He wants to be insta famous.
Yeah,
Insta famous.
yeah.
And so enter the dynamic and the relationship of the troll.
Right.
Someone who is still somehow affected by your charisma, sir. They take that 2 ways. They either love you or they hate you.
Yeah.
But they're still enamored to the point where they truly feel there is significant little fucking opinions and words have any weight on you. You don't even know these individuals. Think about how undisciplined they are and how fucking impulsive they are to react on an emotion just because of what they read or saw, and just decide that they are so important that they could fucking reach out to you and somehow fuck with you.
Dude,
That shit blows my mind.
they used to be the most powerful.
Ego shit, dude.
Used to be the most powerful mob family in existence. Now they're fucking creating fucking fake bullshit on the fucking
Growing
internet.
up Gotti,
That's the only game they got going. It's
Bro,
fucking John.
That's listen.
Gotti High is a
Believe
kid.
that shit?
Gotti High is a kid, Casparosa. His real name's Jorge George, right?
George is
This
fine.
guy's been following me for 10 years.
His first name's
taping
his
me.
last name. That's guys.
Yeah.
Now, Gotti's paid this guy just to harass my life since I'm home. He took me to court. He filed papers, said I was trying to kill him. Filed papers with the government, said I killed some girl. Ain't true. The government said I didn't even live here at the time, so that's nonsense.
Just to
Filed-
slow you down and fuck with you.
Yeah, it won't stop. The guy's following me in court with thing now. They want me to lose my temper. Gotti wants me to hurt the guy. So if I hurt him,
Wants
I
him
can
to
go to
turn
jail.
this motherfucker's head
Because,
backwards.
you know, let's give people credit for their intelligence. However, lack of goal and fucking, but you know, maybe he thought he could mastermind your shit, and because you're consistent. See, that's what I'm saying. He knew he could get to you that way, emotionally, egotistic, or
Yeah.
something like that.
He's we talked about
That's
this.
all he got.
He's
playing all his last
Fredo
fucking cards.
Fredo Corleone in the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
in the Godfather movies. You know
Playing all his
Fredo?
last fucking cards, that's it. And you know,
They got no cards.
if I was a young dude running a fucking crew in a family, I would look at this situation currently and say, you're out of the fucking business. What I do with my fucking men and the loyalty I require them of me, it has to do with me and everything. I don't know, Gotti, that motherfucker he's a fucking celebrity now. He's gonna be on Dancing with the Stars soon.
Yeah.
None of this situation got nothing to fucking do with me.
And he's chased out of the mafia. I mean, he's
Dude,
chased
yeah.
away. So I don't get what I.
Well, how
keep
you gonna
saying
get
is-
mad at your fucking enforcer fucking working a deal to get himself out when you were the
After
first
they've been-
one to do it?
Dude, they've been
You
rat-
put him on the fucking paper.
for
He put
2
you on the
years.
paperwork first, right?
Dude,
Yeah.
2 solid years to fucking ratting him out.
His own captains, actually go against him and make statements saying he's my drug partner, and they make statements saying he said Eli will never rat. This is in the mid-'90s. Now he's trying to come back with paperwork saying I was ratting in '91 because he's acting like it's a race. But if they had that paperwork,
It would've been
when he
out.
went to trial, right, to save his own life, where was that paperwork? So it never came out. Now all of a sudden you're going to come up with something? You're going to come up with some fake bullshit?
Yeah.
So this is the part, this is what he did, but he ain't got nothing better to do with himself because of what you said. Do something positive. What are you doing for something? Do something for some kids.
Self-hatred, brother. He hates
Yeah.
himself. That's all
I
it is.
said that, actually.
He hates himself. He despises
Yeah.
himself, and I won't be surprised if he smokes and fuck himself.
Yeah.
Because to have that much animosity towards shit that he set forth in motion, like you're older already.
Dude, how the
bro.
fuck do you let that rapist live? You saying
The
that
motherfuckers
you
that beat up his dad in
let-
jail.
Let a fucking rapist
Touch my
live?
fucking dad.
Dude, forget about
He
it.
let
Fuck
Johnny
outta
Gabbett,
here.
listen, this guy, here's another thing. When Johnny
Dude,
Gabbett,
you hurt a woman or a kid. I
Yeah,
don't
nah,
give a
yeah.
fuck who you are.
they not only did they,
I'm coming myself.
There's
blood
a kid
for you
on the
shit.
internet that doesn't like me, supposedly because he likes this Gabbett. So I just told a friend, this is the biggest point, right? And I'm
Yeah,
going to tell you
no,
something. I never say he was there because I'm not sure, but I heard he was there on this rape. So I don't put him out there because I'm not like him.
He's like in the building.
I'm not going to put him, I'm not going to say something that ain't really true because it's a shitty thing. But I'll tell you what he did do. He protected this rapist because the guy was a friend of mine too. And when I went to court, right, and I believed him at first. When I sat in court and I heard the thing, I said, motherfucker, you raped this girl. Not only did you just rape her, you beat her half to death. And then her boyfriend, Sal Tomasula, I grew up with him. They shot him so he wouldn't be a witness, which he lived. They shot my other friend, Frankie DeMeo, who was going to be a witness. He lived. And then we tried to hit Gabbett, right? We hit him. He lives, but he's in the hospital. We go to Jamaica Hospital. We're going to finish him. Now he's under security with police security.
Yeah,
Now he's
serious.
already convicted as a rapist.
Just catch something
But
on
he
fire.
He went on the run.
And they're in as a different name too.
Nah,
right?
just catch
Yeah,
something
yeah,
on
yeah.
fire. You'll
Yeah,
find that
yeah.
motherfucker.
And then Gotti gave Gabbett my identification to go on the run. And then one of the guys says, hey, I heard Alite's a rat. So he's trying to spin that story when he gave it to Gabbett. But when Gebbit gets out of the hospital, we get him again. That's when I order him, the hit on him again, and we kill him. So during the trial, the prosecutor was very smart here. He said, you're denying that you were involved on this murder conspiracy, which his father ordered the murder on this kid. And so either you're protecting a rapist or you were on the hit for the rapist. Which one is it? You can't have it both ways. Either way, if he didn't have nothing to do with the hit like he claims, okay, then you're protecting a guy who gang raped a girl and beat her half to death. So which one do you want to be? But he was his drug partner, so he was trying to protect him.
Also, if he was there, he knew if he didn't protect this motherfucker, he'll be able to implicate him, and and confirming that he was there. In fact, it sounds like to me, I call this disorder dyslexic rationale. Yeah. Basically, you do the exact fucking opposite of what's rational, and it sounds like that's how he takes care of every one of his fucking situations. He did the opposite of what he should have fucking done every time. I'm telling you, that motherfucker set forth all the things in motion that destroyed the whole fucking family.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, listen, weak guys keep weak people around them. So if you see his circle, you'll say, hey, I don't got to know nothing further. You don't even got to hear me talk. If you watch the people he's got around him, you got to say to yourself, you got to be kidding me. You're not ashamed that you were the boss's son and this is who you're staying with? You know, forget about gangsters. Okay, I'm just talking about men in general. Just gentlemen, guys doing positive things. He's staying with complete fucking weasels.
Losers.
That if this was another time in my life, I just go smoke them all in one sitting. You know, and they're too stupid.
Another reason why I like him.
They were tic-tacs. You tic-tac motherfuckers.
Exactly.
I eat your whole box.
We got something to do at 6:15. We'll see you at the restaurant at 7.
So you
I want a Sprite.
You know where I'm making an association with fucking like oligarchies and socialism and shit because look, not everyone got it, but because he's the next in line, you give it to him and look what fucking happened to the whole empire.
How long did you have to roll with him to keep him out of trouble?
Oh man, I rolled with him since the first time I got stabbed up.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you something because they always talk about lie detector tests. I'll pay for it and get the best guy there is to sit here. When I first got stabbed up, he left me in the street. When I did my first shooting with him and his partner, Johnny Gebbit, when he got robbed, this is before the rape or before I knew about the rape, we were hitting 4 Jamaicans. Me and Gebbit were in the car. Gebbit jumped out of the car, left me after the shooting, and Gotti was supposed to be following us. He turned off. They left me.
Yeah,
so they left me when I got stabbed
car,
up.
Right?
Oh,
man.
Supposed to be the follow car, crash car. Mm-hmm. And so these are all facts that he doesn't like that I say. But I keep telling him, man, I'm good with whatever happened in the past. Just leave me alone already.
Because you know you ain't going to fuck with him on no level like that again.
Yeah, never,
you know?
right.
And that's what you say. You look at his circle and you instantly know because no real motherfucker would be in that circle. Like, you know what? I fuck with you because you're dad, but I ain't doing no shit with you, dude. Yeah.
So I was with him. The father ran the street for about 80. His father got straightened out, became a Maid member in the late 70s. He took over the family about 82, 83. And I was with the father from 82 to 83 all the way to 91. So Gotti says I wasn't around after 91. Ridiculous. I lived with his uncle in jail in 97. So the government, as you know, like them or not, on whatever side people are on, didn't knock on my door one day and say, hey, we're locking you up because we know you shot about 30 guys. They didn't just pick on me for no reason. So I'll sit here and say, yeah, they came to get me.
They don't want you.
I was a bad guy, selling drugs, shooting people, doing what I was doing, and they got me. So, but he's got this line of bullshit about the governor is just full of shit. Well, what'd they pick me for? Why didn't they pick you? Well, this guy went, and if that's true, come testify for me so I can get $100 million for all the years I spent in prison.
You know what's crazy? Yeah. Even the fucking goddamn cops knew you were a more reliable fucking witness than he was. That's why they came to you, because you're real. You're like, yo.
Well, he tried to spin that and say that during the trial, the jury said that I wasn't believable. But his own lawyer said that's not what the jury said. The jury said they thought I was too violent for this guy that's not violent to ever control me. So, and he didn't control me.
And it made sense. It was you came up under his dad.
The jury didn't understand that.
And then the fact that you stood around was a favor to his fucking dad, you know?
Yeah,
you wasn't made because you're Albanian, right?
Yeah.
So that was all by choice. Yeah. And so you felt that allegiance to his father and stood around. And next thing you know, you just, little by little, like, oh, my God, dude.
The book I just did now, Mafia International, right? Yeah. There's 4 or 5 guys that give their version of the street with me. There's a black guy from East New York, Brooklyn, that grew up with me, that we're still real good friends. There's Klaus, the guy I'm going to see in Spain, who was in Brazil penitentiaries with me. He's one of the biggest drug dealers ever coming out of Europe. I got another Anthony Ruggiano, whose father was the biggest boss around Albert Anastasia. He does a chapter. There's a guy that did a chapter from Philadelphia. His father was a concierge of the family in Philly. He does a chapter. And I do a chapter about terrorists because I try to choke out a terrorist in prison. So I go into some of this stuff about my mindset, and these guys go into their mindset about me. It's not my version. It's their version. So, that's this last book.
You know you can't just leave us on that terrorist thing, dude.
Hey, what about also?
you.
What's your podcast? You got a podcast too. Tell us about that.
Yeah, my podcast is Truths, Mafia Truths, with me and a young kid, Felix Levine. And people ask me why I choose this kid. He ain't a gangster, he ain't a mobster. And I said, this is a reason why I chose
Genius.
this kid.
Yeah.
He's a smart, educated, nice guy, intelligent, well-spoken. And this is what I want kids to follow.
He represents who you're trying to reach.
Exactly. And I don't know why they don't get it, that he's what we're trying to show.
I know why they don't get it.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
They're not supposed to get it.
Yeah,
And
They
you
probably
also,
don't even listen to your fucking show. You know what I mean? They just criticize.
Oh, they troll on
They
it
never
all
heard
day.
of. They never heard a fucking episode, but question your choice of
Yeah.
your co-host. Bitch,
Yeah.
did you hear him?
Yeah.
Did you hear the chemistry? What are we doing here? They just talk shit.
and you've been in a bunch of film projects.
Yeah, I did.
Name a couple of your favorites.
I did a Netflix called Fear City. It was a 3-part series. It was like a #1.
Watching that shit now. Thank you.
I did Mafias 1 and 2 with Sir Trevor McDonald. He's a black dude who was best friends with Mandela. Man, the nicest guy in the world. I got pictures all over me and him in the house because we hit it off. He's just one of those, man, he's a special human being, really. He's in his 80s now. He's been a little sick. I want to shout out to him, really. He's a gentleman. We did a thing that blew up in the UK and Australia. And those, when we did, I think we did that about 6-7 years ago. It was a 2-part series. I did another one called Perfect Gangster in Europe also that did real well in my country, in Albania. I did Reels. I got a project that just went out on Nat Geo that was on the drug trade in Gotti. I got another one coming out in September on Nat Geo again and Disney Plus of me on the run in Brazil. I got a 10-part series coming called The Final Chapter with a bunch of other gangsters, ex-gangsters.
That's dope, dude.
And I got one that's coming out of Italy. I got one with Klaus on his life story, and me and him, I'm his co-host. There's actors playing us in a TV series called Nordic Narcos, and we consult and we do some talking during the film, and they'll use our words about our drug interaction since the early 90s to Brazil, to me getting caught with 8 passports. He got them for me. He helped me get them. And, yeah. So,
Fucking,
I've
you
seen a
rolled
lot
up
of shit.
with motherfucking 8 passports.
I've seen a lot of shit, but I've never interacted with someone with 8 fucking passports. I never bagged nobody with 8 passports.
That's
heavy
fucking
duty.
awesome.
yeah.
That's like impossible.
I went to-
That's good shit,
Dude,
man.
that
That's some
motherfucker
connection.
was juice.
That's some fucking
He
cash.
got me
Shit.
into West Africa, where I got 5 of them. And then I was in Venezuela, I got 2.
What year was this? Like,
This
what?
is 2003.
These
when I-
motherfuckers were working? These
Yeah.
passports? What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Well, 2 of them weren't that good.
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
can
yeah.
use them as identification.
Or like to cross little
cross
lines
little
and shit.
things.
Yeah,
Like when
yeah,
you're
yeah.
going through borders, like, I went to, people ask me, where'd you go? And I just unloaded all the time. I was in Uruguay, I was in Paraguay, I was in Argentina, I was in Brazil, I was in the Cayman Islands and the Canary Islands, I was in West Africa, I was in Paris, I was in Belgium, I was in Amsterdam, I was in Denmark, I was in Albania, Greece, Italy, and that's fast, right? And people ask me where, like Valencia, I was in Cuba. I was in Valencia, I was in Venezuela, I was in Valencia, I was in Caracas, I was in Santa Marta, Cartagena, San Andreas, in Colombia, Barranquilla. So I know my way
Barranquilla.
around. You can't bullshit the way I talk. When people say, oh, yeah, it's impossible. And you guys know that. You've been around the world. So the thing is, I had connections outside of most of these gangsters. They stay on their block. If they're from the Bronx, they stay here. They go to Florida. They traveled. Me, I had connections around the world. I was on a
Your
Venezuelan
network
army
is
base.
much
Yeah,
larger
and
than
so
that
that's why
of
I
theirs.
did this book,
Yeah.
Mafia International.
That's beautiful. You're a very worldly man.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because the initiation of that was you being on the run.
Yeah. Yep.
And look, that shit was probably some of the best times you ever had, huh?
I got to tell you the truth. In part of being on the run, I also had a good time. I went to Falls of Iguazu. That's on the border of Argentina and Uruguay, Paraguay, and Brazil. I mean, it's like going to Niagara Falls. So I checked out all these areas at the same time on the run, setting up, and I was also making money still, moving businesses, moving drugs, doing different things to survive. So, and then, guys will talk about, well, how much money do you have? You're in the drug industry. I made millions. So when they talk this nonsense, I had a piece of property, and now it's worth $10 million. It was an estate. It was, 7-block driveway. I had a nightclub. My rent was $31,000 a month just for my, I was living a different plateau. Then reality hit.
It was your economy. It was your
I
cash
grew
flow.
up with nothing, and I came home to nothing. That's what God wanted for me. And people ask me, what do you think? I said, I think God made me go through this so I can do what I'm doing now
100%.
for kids.
100%.
So
everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And once again, the realest motherfuckers like we come to acknowledge are the most humblest. The most approachable. We're cool. I mean, a little antisocial by choice, but when we're in the mix, we're in the fucking mix now. Yeah. Now I'm feeling our vibes. But it's still, how can I help you? How can I be of something more than just what I am standing here right now? What's going on? Let me talk to you about my shit. Let me help you out. Let me give you a contact. And it's funny you say that because some of the most successful people step outside of their comfort zone and grow that network of other individuals that know other individuals. And I give people advice sometimes. I say, you find yourself at a fucking rut, don't just stay there. Fucking take an online college course or fucking go somewhere and take a physical course and, bartending license or something and meet the students in the class and go out for a drink with them. And God knows where that's going to splinter off to and the opportunities and the blessings that are going to come to you by doing that and being proactive or just shaking shit up. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's fucking cool, man.
Yeah. Tomorrow he's taking off on vacation. Him and his significant other are going to go take a week and some time, and then after that he's heading over to Europe to shoot for a month. So when he comes back, we got to go out and grab a steak or something. Yeah. Get out here, get out in the city. 100%. Yeah, exactly. Instead of fucking trying to fight this Sunday night shit, we'll meet like fucking like on a Wednesday night something. Wednesday night at 6. Go to Gallagher's or somewhere. So it's easy because you've got a fucking hoof left in the car out of here, right? Yeah, a little bit. And I'm not gonna say too much because it ain't nobody's fucking business. But
drop them off over there, Steve, so you don't have to hoof. Drop them off over there. It's like 2 blocks down there.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm talking about when we're done.
I thought I was like, God damn, you inconsiderate bastard.
Can I tell you, going down is easy now. It's downhill's okay.
Hold on, man. Going down mountains and shit, you fuck your knees up, man. That shit is kind of terrible too.
I'll be there with him, man, and we'll be good.
All right, cool, man. I feel better now knowing he gonna be there. One last question for me, because you've been fucking everywhere, dude. And to me, there's no place like New York, bro. Like, what kind of kinship
you know what? And not because I'm on this thing with you guys today, but I'm disappointed what's going on in the country because there's a lack of respect for guys like you guys that risk your life so guys can play football and basketball, can be actors and make all kinds of money. And they forget what it is to salute our flag or respect this country for what it really is. And it's back to the same thing. The people that seem to be spoiled and forget about what life really is need to go over and do some of the things that you guys did to maybe have that respect for what goes on. So, but there ain't nothing like our country. There's nothing like New York. No matter where you go, you miss home. And, it's the greatest country in the world, and I don't want it to change.
Well, we know. Yeah,
this is the biggest thing with me is, our freedoms of just what we're doing today, we can't ever allow it to be taken.
So, just my input. I don't take offense to the people that don't fucking give me credit for whatever I did, and nothing, because I think it's an initiative. Like, there's certain countries that individuals in the military, they maintain their authority even in the civilian sector, that above law enforcement, which makes sense. We all took a sworn oath to protect this Constitution, right? That only happens fucking once, and it never gets undone. But the moment we exit the military, all of our authority is taken away from us, and we get played as the mentally unstable.
Right.
So a part of that is almost an initiative to keep those that, my theory, have evolved to be the great leaders, the warriors, those willing to do the necessary things at a disadvantage societally. Oh, look at these poor vets. Oh, these guys fucking mentally disabled, PTSDs, all these things they throw out there. It's really just to keep a warrior race down after they don't need us anymore. It's the same reason why they're uplifting Gotti and turning him into a celebrity so they could get more inconsistent motherfuckers like that in what they have to combat. It's genius. Think about it.
I look at things like John Cena, say. Yeah. I used to like the guy. I got no respect for him anymore. After he kowtowed to China because of movies and everything, I'm saying to myself, you got Muslims. I'm from a Muslim family, you know,
that's right.
And I'll be an Albanian, and and I'm Catholic now, but my family. And you got Muslims and you got people that they're using slave labor for. They got them in concentration camps. They could call them re-education camps or anything else they want to call them. They're pushing the communist agenda. And you got these actors that are backing them, or LeBron James or anybody else, and they're talking about racism and slavery when there's modern-day slavery right now. Why? They don't count those people in China because, what, they're Chinese or they're Muslim or they're not black? Slavery controls control. And anybody that's okay with that, I'm not okay with.
Why are they even speaking on it is the scary part. Steve, how come we don't take sponsors? Only motherfuckers we know.
Wait, it's a funny story. We've actually had a couple large organizations want to sponsor us because I say fuck a lot, and so does Jason. And we're not going to stop saying what we say because somebody's paying us.
The message isn't for their fucking target audience.
It's for us.
It's for the guys we got to get to.
Right.
So take the opposite of that, and you look at an individual like LeBron James and John Cena and whoever the fuck else is advocating for China. Why are you even opening your fucking mouth? Because you're a fucking whore for money.
You should be talking about basketball.
Opportunity. Now we truly see what conglomerate owns your fucking contract and your life, because this is not by choice. No one is going to put themselves out there and make a statement if they're not fucking some sort of like required to do it. They're not going to feel personally convicted to talk about fucking China's relationship politically or economically.
Well,
this
LeBron
is the fucking wrestler
from China, so now he's his puppet. You're a success.
China owns the NBA.
Yeah, I know that. I won't watch it. People ask me, you like basketball? Yeah, I love basketball. But they go, do you watch it? I go to the schoolyard and I watch it. But I won't watch them. I just, because they're not owned. And that guy that's on Shark Tank, I forget his name. That's in
the Mavericks owner and shit. Yeah, he's another
piece of shit. Straight. Tucker Carlson asked him,
Listen.
denounce China. You know what he says? I'm not going to get political.
That's deep
He goes,
state
denounce
shit,
China.
dude.
Tell me why you won't denounce China. He said, I'm not denouncing China. Why? Because they own you.
He has tech
you're a
companies,
sellout to
all
this
that
country.
shit. Yep, 100%.
So, you know, when someone says to me, well, listen, if you are a sellout to this country, you're a sellout to yourself. You ain't nothing then. You don't mean nothing to me because you're a sellout to yourself. And when you don't respect, and you guys could be humble about it because you guys did it. I didn't do what you guys did. And when they show such disrespect for what you guys did, and friends of mine, and I don't know if you know Lance and guys, different guys that I know that were there, or Brian or whoever, I says, how can they sit there, look in the mirror and enjoy the fruits of this country, all for your blood, all for things that go on, all for the suffering, limbs that people lost, lives that lost. They don't want to give them money, but you want to send our money to Iraq. Or you want to send it to Afghanistan and you don't want to take care of our soldiers? Or you don't want to take care of their families? Or you don't want to take care of their medical costs? Hey, something's wrong with the country when people, and I'm talking about the everyday citizen, don't uprise and talk. I'm not saying about physically. I'm talking about just verbally talk and speak out and don't allow this. Because this is the most important.
You know how
fact.
they say reality TV isn't real, right? Oh, this is just, you know, everything is scripted or whatever. You know, whatever they say is cool. Reality TV isn't fucking real. The engine of the media is just a fucking two-dimensional fucking looking glass of one perspective.
Right.
So in other words, don't let the Liberace shit fool you. I'll fuck you up. In reference to America,
right?
Because the media is controlled by those that want to be in bed with them, and all. So now it's looking as if the majority. But you know what I find common? The majority is us.
Yeah.
And you know, all that rah shit, that's their shit.
Right.
Our shit is go ahead, I dare you, motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
What I would offer is if you just take a look at it, our Constitution's under attack.
Yes, sir.
The social media platforms are not letting you
Second
post
Amendment.
what you want. The Second Amendment's always been under attack, and so on and so forth. Only pay attention to those two because those are the only two that are
Well, the
really
Second
important.
Amendment is the only one that's going to pull us out of shit.
Right. Well,
Well,
that's the most important one because you lose the second, you're going to lose the rest of your
Everything.
amendment.
Well, that's why the second follows the first.
Right.
I say whatever the fuck I want. You can try and stop me. It'll be a bad decision, but you can try.
And the addition to the Second Amendment is the encouragement of the people to fight against a tyrannical government.
Exactly right. Exactly. And with that being said, since we were attacked in 01, we've had 14 million veterans go back and forth. So some of those veterans changed over to private military contractors. So we've had 14 million citizens of the United States go back and forth to the Middle East for various reasons. So say, for example, something were to happen and the citizens did have to stand up, 14 million people that are familiar with violence, very familiar with it. Some animals you should just let sleep.
Don't forget those old dogs of war that's still here too.
You know what the weakest comment anybody
Some bad motherfuckers, Steve.
the weakest comment anybody can make is, I'm just taking my orders, right? Like in Germany, when they were saying they're killing kids and killing women, and you ask them why they're doing it, they said they're only fulfilling their orders. There are orders, and then there's thinking and orders, and then there's military orders with respect and honor. It's different, and you guys know this better than I do. But how do these guys sit back and let the freedoms of this country go without being checked?
I asked myself that question too, specifically towards law enforcement. People that grew up where we grew up, went to the schools we went to, have fist fights with each other, fucking shared, Thanksgivings. And you're my blood, motherfucker. You're just doing another job. And then that job so happens to be the front line between some real fucked up political overreach.
Well,
You're the
Cuomo-
only fucking reason these people are able to talk the way they talk and do the things they do because of your army, your efforts, your muscle, your willingness to be eager to protect this ignorance, this authority overreach. Really, is all it is. This nepotism, this transferring fucking power and influence down from bloodlines and fucking secretaries who suck fucking bosses off and all. You know what I'm saying? It's a sick.
You mean like the vice president?
It's a successful, and they're putting the people that fucking swear an oath to protect this city, this country. They're putting people that have moral conviction. Some of them not because we're talking about what we're talking about, but they're putting these motherfuckers because they gave their word to do something in front of them because they know no matter what, their word is their bond, despite of what they're fighting for.
Right.
And they enforce that fucking institution. You know, it's sick.
Think about what Cuomo tried to do last year. I think
Piece
it
of
was last
trash.
year.
Cuomo's a piece of
I think it
trash,
was the
though.
Fourth Amendment, right? I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's Fourth Amendment. When he was asking the police to go door to door on your neighbors to tell if you have more than 5 people in your house for Thanksgiving. How the fuck does this guy think that ain't Nazi Germany or the start
Gestapo shit, bro.
The Gestapo shit. And who's stupid enough to listen to this?
You know
How
what I
weak
will
is
say this?
somebody?
What I will say this, I notice through the numbers, law enforcement have exercised, a majority of them have exercised to take early retirement. Their numbers went down almost 30,000. They went back up again because they tapped into a new generation of fucking undisciplined motherfuckers that just don't give, but they're smart.
Right.
But they don't know what's going on. They were raised in fucking confusion. All they know is this is where I needs to be. This is the bee's knees. They don't understand the whole legacy politically of how we've been fucked and put in these positions, you know? And no one's taught that in school. Yeah. This is a whole institutional thing. And you know, I can't blame that officer, you know? Because once again, if at all he knows nothing, he knows he gave his word.
Yeah.
And that's just the kind. So we're fighting ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? It's fucking crazy.
Well, they're trying to break us down.
Man, divided we fall.
They're not going to.
Everything is
People
cyclic
can see
anyway.
through it.
Everything is cyclic anyway. You look at any fucking major empire over here, even the first ones that got this shit popping, the Mesopotamians, none of them exist.
Yeah, right.
And we're like, what, 278 years old?
240 something.
Whatever the fuck. I'm sorry. You guys are going to kill me, all you patriots out there. But We're not
still
even
love you.
300 years old. We're
We know
talking
math
about
ain't your thing, bro.
empires
Relax.
that lasted fucking millennia. And they fell. Like, everything fucking comes to an end. And because of nepotism and the downfalls of fucking socialism, that's why Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, isn't Biden. You understand what I'm saying? And Biden isn't whoever the fuck it was that put him in that position. These motherfuckers lost what they're fighting for. And they were fucking raised in privilege and authority. They have no fucking clue. And now they're just undisciplined. Yeah. So they're tipping their hand. They're just going to lose it all. Yeah. They're going to lose it, and they don't see it. Because now they don't have the common enemy for people to fucking rally against. They don't got Trump anymore.
Right.
And yet there's still some shit going on. We just fucking rebel against authority. They're stupid. They skyline themselves. They're that guy that went in there and said, yo, I want to fuck you up.
Right.
But bitch, why'd you even do that? Now I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, right.
You understand what I'm saying?
You wanted to fuck me up, you should have just did it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's
right.
where, and look, I'm just sitting back, relaxing, and watching until somebody really does some super overreach, and I'm in the moment. I get emotional. I just got to take a few motherfuckers out with me. I'm just saying it's possible. This place is crazy.
Realm of the possible is a big place.
I'm just kicking back and just letting fucking destiny happen, bro.
I'm saying, motherfucker, don't start none, there won't be none.
Start no shit, won't be no shit.
Some old men, you should just leave the fuck alone. Yeah. Don't come to my house.
I will tell you, fucking law of nature. You come after me, I'm the type that will wound you or kill you. So think twice.
Dude.
Think twice and stop fucking with veterans, man.
Exactly.
Stop fucking with gangsters. Stop.
Like I said, with a amateur, you'll see it. With a professional, you'll fucking hear it.
Yep.
Follow John at Real John Alite on Instagram, right?
True John Alite.
Oh, True John Alite on Instagram. Got a bunch of books coming out. And
my website.
website.
JohnAlite.com.
JohnAlite.com. And also the podcast again.
Mafia Truths.
Mafia Truths, right.
And my book, Mafia International.
Right.
And my movies will all start coming out in September. And then we'll film it, so they'll be out again. My other shows and series should be out by early next year, I think.
Excellent. Well, bro, thank you so much for coming on.
you
You
guys,
fucking, you need anything, anytime, reach out. We're always available.
Same here.
Always.
They did a series on a guy called Bryant Venus, or Venus Bryant. I don't know if you guys remember him. He tried to blow up the Long Island Railroad.
That's right.
Long Island. And he was actually a fanboy of mine.
Underwear, right?
And I didn't like him, I didn't. And he dressed up as a female. He went into Afghanistan. He shot rockets at the troops. He said the rocket was a dud, and I'm like, how would he know if it was a dud or not? If there's you guys would know you're firing anyway. He told me when we were in a joint, we got into a little argument, and he used to follow me, and I hated the guy. And he started talking about terrorism and talking against the country. We got into an argument, and he says, "Man, I'd like to kill myself." I says, "Well, go ahead. I'll wait. I'll watch it." And we kept going back and forth, and I ended up flipping him around and choking him out. And a Colombian guy caught me, called security. They locked me up. I was in solitary confinement for a while. And I beat the charges of attempted murder and assault. And they let me out on 9/11, actually, from the home. So I did a thing about terrorism in my book. And I actually did something on a podcast about terrorism. And some of the guys that I know, not just because they're Albanian, but I'm friends with the Duca family. Yeah. They got accused of terrorism with Fort Dix. I don't believe they were involved in it. I said they should take another look at it. And I use the example of how pro-America I am, pro-forces I am, pro-veteran. I advocate like crazy. I would never take this stand if I didn't believe that they were innocent on what they were charged with. And then I also talk about this guy and other guys that were involved in terrorism acts. Mohammed Babar, that was also involved in the bombing of the train system in the UK. I believe 160 people got killed in that. So I talk about my interaction, how I didn't like these guys, went after these guys while I was in prison.
Nice. Hunting terrorists in prison.
Yeah.
One more reason to like you.
Thank you.
And the fact that several fucking news organizations refer to him as a murder machine.
I feel like
it just makes me happy.
I feel like the world should just really thank whatever it is that
Thanks
has
for the fucking
given you
work he
the
put
purpose of philanthropy and no longer fucking shit up.
Those
Because you're
motherfuckers-
thorough,
dude,
bro.
they all had it coming. Come on. They knew what was going on when they put their shoes on that day. Fuck them.
Thank you for what
Thank
you're
you.
doing to the kids,
Love you, bro. Thank you.
Love you, man. Yo, the little ones, that's where it's at. Get it in
Dude,
their fucking heads,
that's what it's
bro.
all about. All right,
Everybody
John.
knows. All right.
John
Outta
taking
here.
us out. You filthy
Filthy
fucking
fucking
meat
Meat
sacks.
sacks.